My name is Teresa Stecker, and I am the Executive Director of IC Compassion. About 15 years ago, a few of us in the community got together and looked at how we could impact this east side of Iowa City. This used to be a middle-class community, and now it's mainly a low-income, very diverse community. We began by reaching out and helping people with transportation needs. And then as it continued to grow, became aware of a population of immigrants and people who were struggling in poverty that no one else was responding to, had some unique needs, language, legal status, access, those kinds of things. So we just felt like that was an open door. We use the Good Samaritan story frequently just because we believe that it really touches on not only the compassion part of it and the neighbor part of it, but also the immigrant part of it. Our true mission statement is that we're a faith-based organization that is assisting families with unique cultural needs to move out of poverty and, to have hope and opportunities. Part of what we've seen God do in the midst of all of this is also been a place for churches to fulfill their missions. Certainly with COVID, the immediate need we recognized right away is the food.
The North Liberty Community Pantry has been in operation for 35 years. We provide food, clothing, toiletries, any essential items that people in need in our community may have. So we serve not just North Liberty, but the surrounding rural towns in Johnson County as well. Typically the pantry is set up like a grocery store, so folks can come in, they express a need for food. We have really low barriers to entry. They don't have to show proof of income. If they say that they're in need, we take them at their word. They can come in and shop for the things that they need. COVID has very much impacted the way we do those services. So last year was our biggest year. We saw an almost 25% increase over the previous year. So going into 2020, we've already been serving significantly more number of families. And then when the pandemic hit, there's been probably another 25% of families that never needed our services before that are now coming to us for help. Our relationship with Grace Community Church goes pretty far back. We've had a lot of our regular volunteers, both members at Grace. One of our former staff members was a member at Grace. They've hosted annual food drives that's brought in thousands and thousands of pounds of goods to the pantry. And then the financial support has been extremely helpful, not just on an ongoing basis, but specifically during the COVID-19 pandemic. And to have a cash donation in our hand within a handful of weeks was so helpful because we didn't know what we needed at the time. So that was really, really helpful for us to fill those needs and get toilet paper and purchase rice in bulk and purchase bulk produce and things that our families were asking for in a way that our dollar went really, really far.
Prior to the COVID, we served maybe 60, at the most 100 families a week. At the height of COVID and probably our busiest week, we served over 450 families. And right now we're still averaging around 200. In that number, you have a lot of things that are needed that don't come from agencies that are working, such as diapers, cleaning products, the protective equipment. That plus the fact that we begin to deliver. And again, we have great organizations that help us, but when our numbers went that high, we had to start buying. And that money that Grace gave us was so critical. And quite honestly then, because of that, we were reaching out all over Johnson County and even beyond. And so that was amazing to see the timing that was placed in there and the opportunity that gave us to continue to provide food on a significant increased level during these last few months.
We've worked really hard to find a way to get volunteers back into the building safely. We purchase PPE, we have a whole cleaning schedule. We want people who feel safe and are healthy and can be active to come back to join us. Anyone in the community, if you're over the age of 13, can come in and volunteer with no prior training.
In our world, we can get focused on that we have to go be out helping people. And I just had an immigrant look at me one day and say, I'm an asset. She needed to say that with force to me, to say, wait a minute, helping someone is also saying, how can I make you an asset that we're equal in the community, that you are giving as well as I am giving. And that's actually helping, as opposed to what we tend to think of in the Christian world, of helping someone out of the pit or helping someone up out of the ditch.
There has always been a need in our town. There's always been a need for food and toiletries and clothing, but especially coming through the recovery of all of this. We just want people to remember that giving is important all times of year, not just Christmas and not just during a pandemic, but we're so thankful for all the support we have gotten so that we can sort of ride that wave out and continue to meet our neighbors' needs and not always be sounding the alarm for help. You know, the silver lining of a pandemic is that we've worked really closely with all the area partners and probably could not have come up with a lot of the solutions we did without their support and help.
To learn more about donating or volunteering, please go to graceb3.org/action to share your time, talent, and treasure with those in need.